Hi, from the 2012 Calgary Comic and Entertainment Expo, you're watching Between the Pages.
So here's what's happening tonight. We're going to first and foremost just have a quick moment of silence because there was a passing in the comics community.
The great Ernie Chan has passed away.
Yes.
Best known for a lot of his Savage Sword of Conan work.
Yes.
He's done a lot of other work, but Conan, I think, was the one that was near and dear to his heart and everybody else's. So
I think so too.
Let's give a moment in the memory of Ernie Chan.
And there we are, Mr. Ernie Chan. July 1940 to May 2012. He will be sorely missed in the comics community, and we do hope, that his family is handling things well.
Yeah.
And we wish them all the best as well.
Absolutely. And let's hope we don't have to do too many more of these. We've had a lot of memoriams in our shows this year, and I hope to keep that a little quiet over the next little while, because we don't want to lose any more.
No, well, they're all greats.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into our first bit of Comic-Con coverage. This is our second last show of Comic-Con coverage.
Yeah, we got one more.
Well, we got one more after this, and then we go back to our regular live shows with news, spotlights, interviews,
and our
reviews.
Our first live show is going to be moving to a new time.
Yes.
It's going to be Saturday noon in June.
Noon in June.
And that will be our new regular time slot, noon on Saturdays.
All right. And that is noon Mountain Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. So for all of our friends in the
11
East.
Pacific.
11 Pacific. And I believe it's 3 p.m. Atlantic, if I'm not mistaken.
And we're not going to get into GMT and all that stuff. You'll figure out the math.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
That's going to be a Star Trek special.
It will. We have Catherine Pooley from Vulcan Tourism. And for all those fans of Vulcan, this is not the Vulcan, the red hot planet. This is Vulcan, Alberta. There you go. Live long and prosper. Catherine Pooley has been heading up the Vulcan tourism there for quite some time, and I've met her several times. She's just a sweetheart. She's going to come on the show and talk about what's happening in Vulcan on the 8th, 9th, and 10th, which is their 20th anniversary of Spock Days. So she will be joining us for that, and we look forward to having her on the show, and it'll be a fun show.
Are you able to do this?
I am.
Can you?
I am.
Were you? When I was young, I
can actually do it with both.
When I was young, I can totally do it. But when I was young, I couldn't do it initially, and I would always put my fingers together and pull them apart and stretch them out until I could do it.
I gotcha.
That's how fanboy I was back then.
So let's jump right into our coverage of the Calgary Comic and Entertainment Expo. This is going to be a fairly long segment. It's about 21 minutes. So please, those folks that are in our chat room, please bear with us.
We'll still be here. You can talk to us live, and we'll be back at the end of that segment with some reviews.
You bet. So let's get into that segment now. So I'm here with John DiMaggio, the man behind the voice of Bender, as well as Marcus Phoenix from the franchise trilogy.
The trilogy of Gears of War.
Gears of War.
Yes, the video game. How's it going?
And not too bad. How are you doing here in Calgary?
I'm just staring. I'm just having microphone block envy. My goodness, man, this thing is huge.
Well, you know what they say.
Somebody with that.
If you're going to go big,
you got to go big. You got to go big.
You got to go big.
I thought you were going to say something else. He's a naughty man. Anyway.
Now, what people may not know is some of the voices that you do regularly. And what are some of those voices?
Well, I do Bender from Futurama. I do Jake the dog from Adventure Time. Wow, who else? I was Dr. Draken on Kim Possible. I'm Rico the Penguin on Penguins of Madagascar. Gosh, what else? Just a bunch of other. Niblet on Pound Puppies. You guys get Pound Puppies up here?
Oh yeah, we get Pound Puppies.
Pound Puppies. I'm Niblet on Pound Puppies. Many other things and many other things. I can't keep the list together because the schizophrenia medicine doesn't work that well.
So now going from acting live to acting in a studio, how different is that?
Well, it's completely different. It's a totally different challenge. Anybody that says, "Oh, I can do a voice, I can do a voice on a show or whatever," I guarantee you they are barking up the wrong tree. It's a very difficult thing. You have to have your act together. You have to be consistent. You have to be able to do the same thing over and over and over in order to get it right. You have to. It takes a lot of stamina, and it takes a lot more more of a different approach as far as your focus is concerned, and what you need to do to create the girth of a character, or the size of a character, or just that character's aura with just your voice. And you have to trust that your voice will inspire the artists that are going to draw you, that are going to do your character layout, that are going to make your character act. You have to be a team player. It's one thing when you're doing it yourself, and when you're performing as in your own body, if you will. You don't have to rely on someone else to help bring that to life. So it's a much more concerted effort with a bunch of other people than it is to do it by yourself. As far as on camera acting as opposed to voiceover acting.
Now, what people may not know is that voiceover is done first before the animation even takes place.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, they animate to our voices, and that's the best way to do it. You find sometimes that if you watch anime and you watch the dub, right, you can tell that they did that. They had to match the voice flap. Right. Which is very difficult, and that sometimes makes for ridiculous dialogue choices, and that's a very difficult thing to do, because you have to match that in post, and that's a nightmare. The best way to do it is to record from the get-go, and then animate those voices. It's an interesting process.
Now, how has the success of Futurama affected your career?
Can you stay a real estate mogul? No, I'm just saying it's been an unbelievable journey. Futurama has opened doors to so many other jobs, so many other experiences, that it's mind-boggling. I was doing all right before I got Futurama, and then after I got Futurama, it just blew up. It just blew up. And the show died twice. Right. So right now, the Futurama that you're watching is zombie Futurama. You just don't know it yet. And for those of you who have been bitten, you're affected by the virus that is zombie Futurama.
So what's next for you?
Right now, I'm going to go to the can, and right now, actually, what's interesting is I'm working on a documentary right now called "I Know That Voice," and check it out. Check out the trailer on YouTube. It's called "I Know That Voice," and right now we've got a 350,000 hits after going viral last week. Pretty awesome. It's basically a documentary about all the wonderful people that I get to work with, and we've compiled some interviews and we put some stuff together, and so we're working on that. Hopefully the documentary will be ready by the last quarter of this year. We're hoping to get a bunch of stuff done, and hopefully we'll be done with the project by August. But we've got everybody in it: Billy West, Tara Strong, Rob Paulson, Maurice LaMarche, Phil Lamar, everybody from the Futurama cast, but I mean other people too. We're trying to get our hands on oh my goodness, his mind just left. Freddie from Scooby-Doo, Frank Welker, for crying out loud. But we've gotten all kinds of people. Robin Atkins Downs is coming in. Nolan North is coming in. We just got Jim Cummings. We got We've got June Foray. I mean, we've got from the newest people, from like Jessica DeChico and Eric Bauza to the classics, you know, and when we're getting everybody in, and I'm really excited about it. So check it out. It's called I Know That Voice, and like us on Facebook.
And lastly, before I let you go, how are you enjoying Calgary?
The only thing I've seen of Calgary is from the inside of a car and then the inside of this convention center. So I'm kind of, Calgary's great. It's really nice. You have really nice streets.
All right, there you have it.
No, but I'm looking forward to actually going out tonight and falling fat on my face in the curb somewhere on what's the name of that street that people fall flat on their face?
17th Ave?
That's 17th Ave. So I'll see you tonight on 17th Ave.
Today I'm here with
Greg Oak of Movie Prop Services.
And can you tell us a bit what you guys do?
We are a company that rents out and supplies to film and production TV anywhere in Canada. We specialize in armor services, so supplying firearms for movies, TV, and what we also do is custom replicating, such as creating any kind of prop to make it rubber, safe for an actor, straight from the ground up. And we also sell screen-used collectibles like the ones we have behind us here.
Fantastic. So how could viewers get a hold of you if they wanted to get stuff made or done?
You can give us a shout. We have our phone number, 780-490-8256. You can go to the website, internet, www.moviepropservices.com, or give us an email at info@moviepropservices.com.
Awesome. And what kind of prices would people be looking at?
We can do anything from, say, a novelty ID if you wanted it for $5, or right up to a project for $10,000. Our budget's small, budget's big. We can work with your budget, which we like to do. We like to work with a lot of independent shows, a lot of independent photo shoots. We like to cater to anybody. We just like to be able to make sure that you can look your best for what you want to do. So we'll be able to work with you if you want to work with us.
So I'm here today with
Waldo.
And how come we can just be Waldo today? That's totally fine.
I'm Waldo today.
Wonderful. So what made you pick Waldo?
I had all his books as a kid, and this is a gigantic crowd of people I could hide in.
And how many times have you been found today?
I was counting in the lineup, and I got up to 30, and I just stopped counting. So, a lot.
So over 100 by now?
That would be a very conservative estimate, yeah.
Wonderful. How long did it take you to put together your costume?
I bought the sweater, and we taped it in about 20 minutes to get the stripes, because actual candy cane striped sweaters are almost impossible to find.
This is very true.
And the hat took the longest. I put fabric strip on an inside-out white toque and then built the pom-pom.
So I'm here with Pumpkin Ed from Dedmonton TV. How you doing today here at the Calgary Comic and Entertainment Expo?
Well, this place is a little too hot for the average pumpkin, but I'm doing fine.
Well, you don't look like you're wilting too much.
No, but it is melting a little under this cap. Yeah, it is.
So this is not your first year at the Calgary Comic Expo?
No, this is our second year being Dedmonton and down here.
Now, have you done any coverage this year?
Not yet, because it's been just a little bit busy today. We've been trying to promote Dedmonton to the millions of fans that are down here, and if you've seen the lineups outside, there literally seems to be millions of people that are lined up.
That's very true. Now, for those people who don't know what Dedmonton is, can you explain it for them?
What we're trying to do is promote all of the Halloween and horror and haunt-related activities. We're based out of Edmonton, Alberta, but we try and promote everything in all of Western Canada.
Excellent. And who do we have with us here today in your booth?
I'm Paranormal Rona.
Paranormal Rona. Now, does that mean you're a ghost?
No, it means I'm actually a paranormal investigator and also a member of the Edmonton Bone Wagon Association and have 3 hearses.
All right, I'm not really sure how to follow that up.
She's dying to get your business.
I guess so. I guess
Diane know it.
So now you've got something else going on as well, Haunt Tropic Radio.
Yeah, I'm a co-host of a 3 times a month haunt and horror industry related news or show. Dedmonton TV itself is about local artists and the local scene. And Haunt Topic is something that I'm doing with some other people from the States. So we're kind of focusing on the whole North American haunt and Halloween industry side of things.
Awesome, awesome. So where can people find you on the web?
It's Dedmonton.com, that's DEDMONTON.com, and Dedmonton.tv.
Now you also have a YouTube page as well.
That's our .tv channel. Once a month we come out, usually you'll see Pumpkinhead, myself, or some of my other cohorts like Daryl or even Rona have aired some episodes, and we're talking about, you know, artists that might be of interest. We're talking about an upcoming Krampus parade that we hope to hold in Edmonton this fall, and hearses, and we got hearses in the car shows, and there's all sorts of things that we like to talk about.
Hey guys, I'm here today with
Zero from Code Geass.
That is fantastic. Can you explain to us a bit about your costume and how long it took you to make it?
I unfortunately have no skills in making costumes. I had to buy this one on eBay, and it was very cheap, so I kind of went with it.
That's awesome. So how come this character?
He's probably one of my most favorite revolutionist characters I could ever find, and he was just straight up awesome.
That's fantastic. So how are you enjoying the con?
I am enjoying it very much. I'm from Edmonton, and I took a nice 3-hour drive all the way down here just to be here with everybody, and this is my first convention actually dressed up, and it's amazing.
Nice. So you've been to other conventions before then?
And they were not as good as this one, no.
It's because we're in Calgary. So do you have any tips for people who have never been to an expo on how to survive it?
If you really want to be in the center spotlight, you wear a costume. If you want to be in the background, bring a camera and lots of battery, because there's just people everywhere and they want to take pictures of you and you take pictures of them. It just goes around in circles.
Hi guys, I'm here today with
Brian from the Ghostbusters of Alberta, Canada.
Fantastic. And can you tell us a bit about what you guys do and what you're here for?
We're a group of Ghostbusters prop builders and collectors, and just generally fans of the franchise. We, like a lot of other groups around the world, have actually formed a franchise, basically just a fan club, to build props, collect things, and be Ghostbusters. So.
And how is that working for you guys?
Very well. We've been around as a franchise for about a year, but a couple of us have been doing this. I've been doing it for 6 years. A couple of us have been doing it just as long. As soon as we start a franchise, we start networking with other franchises in Canada and the States. And we have just this huge, awesome network of really great guys we've met.
So how can people find you and get to know you better?
Our best bet is either the GhostbustersCanada.ca website or our Facebook group, Alberta or Ghostbusters of Alberta, Canada. We post up basically just kind of where we're going, what we're doing, and it's probably the best way to get a hold of us.
Can you explain what's on your back?
It is my replica proton pack. So I finished building it last year, stripped it down and did a lot of body work for the show this year. It is predominantly poured resin with relatively accurate real fittings, actual pneumatic valves, actual hose, and such. And it weighs about 25-30 pounds.
And how is that for your legs during the day?
Legs are okay. My back was starting to telescope a bit earlier.
Fair enough. How long in total did it take you to make it?
The gun and the pack I've been working on for the last 2 years. Off and on, so I mean, you could sit down in probably a month and do it, but I find it's best. Take your time, work through it, not really be in a rush. So.
All right, again, we are here with more costumed people, and I am with the lovely
Dominica Warshall.
Dominica, tell me a little bit about your costume.
I'm dressed as Her Majesty's Airship Engineer.
Okay, and how long did it take you to put together? This is a unique outfit.
Thank you very much. Basically, for just number of hours, I'd probably say about 40 pure hours of assembly, but it's a lot of scrounging around. So, I mean, some of the pins, the parts of the costume are actual antiques. Some of them are repurposed, modern items that have been repainted and modified. And I mean, just some of it I bought as is.
Wow. You buy this stuff as is. That's amazing. Where can you find this kind of stuff?
You know, it's really funny, but steampunk has really taken off in the past few years. So whereas you couldn't really not find anything quite so flouncy in the stores before, nowadays you can find it just about anywhere.
Awesome. Now, tell us a little bit about what steampunk is and what the culture is.
Well, steampunk is a really broad name for a number of smaller categories that have been kind of placed into the general genre of kind of what the Victorians would have thought the future would look like. And it includes things like diesel punk, which is more of a World War II take on steampunk. There's people that basically focus more on the gears, focus more on the clockwork. There's people that are much more pure in how they recreate the 1800s. So it really depends on what interests you the most. There are so many subgenres under steampunk.
So I'm here with James Davidge, writer extraordinaire, all the way you're from Alberta, are you not?
Yeah, I live just outside of Calgary.
Now, James, can you tell us a little bit about the writing and what you're offering here at the Calgary Comic Con?
Well, the main book that we're selling, of my work here, is Mathemagic and Mystaphysics, which is about 7 mathematicians from various parts of history who are mysteriously banded together to take on problems of a grand and metaphysical nature. In the first story, an abstract artist steals the vanishing point from all of reality. In the second story, the invisible hand and his 7 deadly sins are logged in the philosopher's forest. And the third two-parter story in the book is a grand battle between Flatland and Wonderland.
Awesome, awesome. Sounds like a great story. Now, what else are you working on?
I have a collection of short stories coming out this fall from Bayou Arts called My Modern Panic. It's basically a series of short comic stories about various social issues. I say it's about the best of times, the end of times, all that lies in between and beyond.
Sounds like one of my marriages. Now, Phil, just wanted to quickly ask you, with all the writing that you're doing, where can people find your work?
Well, my work is for sale at shows, and then it certainly is often in bookstores like Chapters or independent bookstores in Calgary. Owl's Nest and Pages and Shelf Life have all supported my work. And you can certainly order them through booksellers, and then definitely through any online retailer as well. We are available through Kindle and Kobo and through those searches and avenues as well.
So I'm here with Mark Texeria, who is one of the most famous artists on Ghost Rider. Can you tell some of our folks what else you've done there, Mark?
Oh, I started at DC when I was 21. I went to Joe Orlando, Vince Coletta when I was 17 and just kept showing my work and worked till I finally got in at 19. And I quit college after 2 years to do the Swamp Thing annual movie adaptation in 1982-ish. And I kind of regret not getting my bachelor's degree, but other than that, I love having been in the comic book industry for the last 30 years. So I've done everything from following Mike Grell on Warlord at DC to Buckaroo Banzai in the '85. And then I did a bunch of other weird Jim Shooter side books like Cyforce. And then I quit. And then I worked for Continuity for about a year. And then I quit that, and then I went to Marvel again, and I started working on Punisher, and that's when I did Ghost Rider, and the story tells itself.
Wow, so you're still working on Ghost Rider now, I assume?
I'm doing a Punisher Space 4-issue, 88-page painted graphic novel with Frank Thierry.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it's a Earthless Counterparts universe. Galactus is dead. Hulk is 20 feet tall with 4 arms. He rips off, well, let's say he rips off the Thing's arm in one of the issues and beats a Human Torch with it. So it's really insane.
I really want to see that issue.
So action-packed and so insane. It's, I can't, that's the only thing I'm afraid I told you maybe even too much of that, but at least, that's in the second, did I say second issue? No. Okay.
A little spoiler there. Now, we'll be looking for that issue and we'll be reviewing it when it comes out. Yes, we always look forward to your artwork.
Please, yes.
So how are you enjoying the Calgary Comic and Entertainment Expo?
Well, this year didn't have Banff. Usually we go up north and, and it was so crowded. But they flew us in and they're flying us out tomorrow, so I didn't really get to enjoy Calgary that much, although the food here is great and the people are great, and hanging out with the other professionals like Frank Cho and Yannick Paquette and all the other artists and the like. Oh, and Bernie Wrighton, who was just sitting next to me, and he left earlier, but yeah, true inspiration.
Very, very cool. Now, we hope to see...
Mike also.
Oh, Mike's down there, yeah.
Mike is a great artist.
Now, we hope to see you back here next year. Is that possible?
Ask the show to invite us, please. please, because they don't listen to us, so they listen to the fans.
Well, we'll definitely get you on our list.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Richard Hatch, Battlestar Galactica, Captain Apollo, Tom Zarek, and you are watching Between the Pages.
And we are back. Are we back?
We're back.
We're back.
Hello, everybody. We're live again.
We are live. This is so cool. I love being live.
Yeah, you know, we've been coasting for most of this time.
We have for the last 4 episodes. 3 episodes.
I wheeled over my cord.
Uh-oh.
Fix that later.
You're running over your cord?
Yeah. See, nobody would have known if I hadn't said it, but now I did, so it's out there.
So, we do have some people to thank first and foremost tonight. We want to thank Jared Benetti from Edwards Land here in Calgary, who donated all of these wonderful new chairs to the studio.
I am quite comfortable, except for this cord that's tangled in my chair now.
Oh, well, you get that out. So we want to thank them. So we got some really nice leather chairs here in the studio that they donated to us. They donated actually 6 chairs. 2 are cloth, which aren't here in the studio, but I thought all the nice black leather ones would look nice here in the studio. So again,
nice
we want to thank
badass.
Jared Benetti from Edwards Land for
Thanks
that
very
donation.
much, Jared.
And speaking of donations, if you do look on our website, and this is me just giving a shameless plug and begging for your money, we do have a donations button there. It goes straight to our PayPal account, and you can donate whatever you like to help us improve the quality of the show and to improve the equipment that we
And that'll
are
help us
currently
also
using.
travel to other conventions,
Right.
and that'll also get us more quality interviews to get to you, our adoring public. So if you can give, please give whatever you can, and we thank you very much for your continued support, and we will keep this a free show as long as we can.
Absolutely. I don't want to charge people to download the show. I don't want to.
As far as we're concerned, that'll never happen.
No.
So.
But if you know you got a couple extra bucks that you're not sitting off some kid in Rwanda, we'll take it.
That's right. And you know, if you dig the ape, we do have some cool swag over in our Cafe Press. So check out our store. And if nothing else, go click on a Google ad and then close it really quickly, and then you can at least that gives us a few cents too. So.
All right. So quickly, let's get into our review. Tonight's review is brought to us by
Words and Pictures, located right here in Calgary at 2610 Center Street Northeast. They can fulfill all your new issue subscriptions as well as back issues. They have a large selection of back issues in the city. Manga, graphic novels, toys, whatever you need, we can find it for you.
Excellent. And watch for our new sponsors coming online June 2nd for our first fully live show.
That's right.
So let's get...
We're moving that show to Saturdays, noon.
And
that'll be our regular time slot in June. Saturdays at noon.
Yes.
Mountain Standard Time.
You can have a nooner.
That's right.
All right.
Enjoy us over lunch.
So let's get to this week's reviews. We're going to start with Dial H #1, the most unlikely hero from DC Comics. This is the new 52, brought to us by China Melville. Or Melville.
China
Melville, okay. And Mateus Santaluco.
I'm not even going to try to correct you on that one. So, this is a pretty fun book.
What did you think of this book?
You know, this one I felt was probably initially meant to be a Vertigo book. I noticed Karen Berger, the mind behind Vertigo, was editing this book. And definitely has that mature feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
They've probably left out the swears and nudity so they could get under the radar, but this is definitely more of a mature take on an old idea. And what this idea is this guy randomly hits this dial. He figures out what numbers he hits later in the issue, but what it does is randomly changes your power sets, turns you into a hero for a short time.
Okay.
And that's why it's called Dial H.
Do you know what I thought was strange about this book? It never really had a splash page till about 8 pages in. And then there's no real cover splash page like we're used to seeing.
It's definitely not a traditional superhero book. There's nothing traditional about it.
It definitely is not.
It's definitely one of their darker, fits in with their Animal and Swamp Thing books.
I would say so.
Yeah, and man, I think even though part of what Dial H does is you don't recycle the characters.
Right.
I would love to see Boy Chimney again.
I would too. I kind of really like the story. I like the fact that the anti-hero, as it were, is a guy like you and me.
Yeah.
Who goes into the phone booth, makes a 911 call and comes out as Chimney Boy.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a spoiler, but the book is well worth a read. I think the artwork is good. The story flowed very well.
Yeah, it's just brilliant on many levels.
There's a lot of dialogue in this book.
It starts off kind of traditional, and then it just kind of takes that ball and throws it to left field. It's just a completely wonky take on an old idea.
I agree.
Yeah, and who knows? We might see some of these characters pop up elsewhere. If memory serves, an early version of Dial H for Hero way back when DC acquired Plastic Man.
Right.
His first appearance within the DC universe was through the Dial.
That's right.
And then was later a regular character. So, never know. These characters could turn up elsewhere, somewhere in the DC universe or universes.
I'd like to see more from Chimney Boy. I think he's kind of a cool
He's very
character.
cool. He's
Very
a
cool
good
character.
one out of the gate, I got to admit.
All right, so our next pick is from Top Cow Entertainment. Or am I saying that right? No, it's Top Cow Productions, Inc. I'm sorry. Top Cow has a new book out from Robert Kirkman, the writer of and creator of The Walking Dead.
And most recently Thief of Thieves, which is also picked up for a pilot.
Right. Mark Silvestri worked on this book as well, and Brian Stelfreeze, I think is the way you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
And the artwork is done by Brian, and of course the writing is done by Robert Kirkman. Now, this book
was due out 2 years ago. So
yes, it was.
It might sound like we're a little late on a review, but it actually just came out. It was part of the Robert Kirkman pilot seasons when he was writing all the pilot seasons.
Right.
And this one just disappeared. It didn't come out. And then finally it came out low on the radar.
Mm-hmm.
There was no publicity around it. But this is a Robert Kirkman book.
That's right.
He's huge. So this is actually one you should keep your eyes peeled for because it didn't come out with the rest of the pilot seasons.
Right.
So if you're collecting those, you kind of missed it. And, for as high as his star was 2 years ago, he didn't have a TV show yet when that pilot season was coming out.
That's true, yeah.
Walking Dead hadn't quite come out yet as a TV show. And,
But The Walking Dead comic was out.
The Walking Dead comic has been out for quite a while.
Yeah.
When the comic was coming out, or at that point, he was like here in his career. Now he's like off camera where my hand is.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
He's got a big house in the hills or ocean somewhere. I don't know, but he's gone where most comic book people hope they can one day be.
Well, he ranks up there with the best. John Buscema and writers like Stan Lee.
Yeah. He created
Kevin Smith.
He created something special.
He did. And, it's one of those things that magic in a bottle, they say only strikes once. But I think with Kirkman, we're going to see it many more times.
I think his Thief of Thieves is really excellent, and I'm a big fan of his Invincible book. And I'm a big fan of this one.
I am too, actually. I think that this book could really be made into a movie.
A movie you could do it as a procedural type of television show. It kind of went where I thought it would go, but being that like pilot season, this is a one-shot story, so it kind of just leaves you hanging in the air at the end and you wanting more of this thing.
Well, it opens up on an action note, a very good action note.
Oh,
actually.
absolutely.
And then proceed to find out how the most unlikely of people could be an assassin.
Yeah.
Without spoiling anything. And then the dialogue in the book seems to flow very well. The panel placement for the dialogue seems to flow very well. So the story itself, I found, was, one of the best I've read in a while.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to reading the next issue.
Think your traditional kind of assassin-type intrigue story mixed with Quantum Leap. What does he mean by that?
Or what was that show with Denzel Washington where he did stuff in virtual space and
Virtuosity?
That's the one. Virtuosity. It kind of reminded me of that, only better, because Virtuosity sucked.
Yeah, but everybody in that movie went on to some very good careers.
That's very true. That's very true. Now, our final pick this week is from Marvel Comics, a book that is brought to us by Mike. Is it Michael Aaron?
Jason Aaron.
Jason Aaron.
How could you forget a Jason?
I know. I'm sorry. Artwork by Jafty Palo, and of course the cover by Michael Comark.
And this was Incredible Hulk 7.1. This was what Marvel likes to call a jump-on point. It's a done-in-one story, which is kind of nice. Just after the initial launching story, really. And I don't know how much I want to tell you that catches up to this point, but this was prior to this story. It was Hulk in his final confrontation with his chief rival, which would be Bruce Banner.
Bruce Banner.
I know. I was thinking Leader or Abomination, but no. It's always been Bruce.
It's always been Banner.
Yeah.
Now, they do tell you right in the beginning of the book, which is no secret, that Banner is dead.
Where is he?
The Hulk and Banner have been separated.
Yep.
And the Hulk has destroyed...
this happened at the end of Fear itself.
Right. And the Hulk has destroyed Bruce Banner with a gamma bomb.
Yeah.
And they tell you that right in the opening. So I'm not spoiling anything there.
So, the Hulk, at the opening, the Hulk's really happy. He's getting... kind of relax and live the wild stuff. And we get to see some really fun, interesting, just one-panel gags. The Hulk, how we like to lounge in a hot tub. He does it in a volcano, and
he cooks a whole stag.
Yeah, he's got a stag
fire.
over a fire pit, and he's just kind of living high on the hog. And probably the first time we've really seen the Hulk smile when Banner wasn't in charge. So.
And then we jump to the Red She-Hulk.
Betty comes into play.
Kicking his ass.
Yeah.
And I could say that word because it's true.
Yeah, let's face it. This is, Bruce was her husband.
This is true.
So.
Now, throughout the progress of this, we're introduced to another character called the Orb, which I think was really put in there for comic relief.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody remembers, and we're going to hark back to Ghost Rider on this one, the original series with Johnny Storm back in the 70s and 80s. So he's been around for a while. He's a very kind of hokey motorbike villain.
With a big eyeball for a head.
Yeah, an eyeball for a head, and he's collecting eyes. And the rest of his crew is like, but what about the money?
Yeah, they want to steal the money. He just wants people's eyes.
Yeah, so he kind of gets mixed in there just for shits and giggles.
And how did you feel about the ending of this book?
It left me rather satisfied.
It did? Because, this is how I felt.
Yeah, the Red She-Hulk and the Green Hulk got a little...
Wait.
Yeah. You all right? Yeah, it was... You need to smoke at the end of that issue.
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to smoke lots.
So
the gag didn't work. But
there you go.
That's all right.
But yeah, you might need a smoke at the end of that issue.
Yeah.
And that said, if your kid is reading this issue, you might want to peruse it beforehand.
Yes, this is not your Saturday morning fun Hulk who likes peanut butter sandwiches.
This is a nice, not so quickie in the middle of Main Street, New York.
It takes about 2 hours for them to get through it, according to the book. But it's an interesting story to see two Hulks have coitus.
Yes.
That's a nice way of putting
it.
To
answer your question, and I know people aren't going to follow on this one, you asked me about who Amanda was. Did you reread at the beginning of the book again?
I did.
Okay.
Yes. It is Betty Brant, or Betty Ross.
Betty Ross, thank you.
Betty Ross, who is the daughter of General Ross, who now is the Red Hulk.
Yeah, and because for some reason Jeff Loeb decided to make the Incredible Hulk's entire supporting cast a load of Hulk-colored Skittles or something. I'm like, well,
how many Hulks do we have now of different color?
Well, we've got the Red Hulk and the
Green Hulk.
Green Hulk. I don't even want to get into how many She-Hulks there are. Rick Jones became the A-Bomb, the new Abomination.
Okay.
I like everything that was interesting about these characters. I'm sorry. I'm a huge Hulk fan. This pisses me off when you start taking human characters that are already interesting on their own, and you feel you need to give them powers to make them interesting. Well, that's a lazy writer, and I mean, I'm sorry, Jeff Loeb's done some great stuff with Batman and Superman, but dude, that was just lazy. Sorry.
Dialogue-wise in this book, what did you think?
I've been a Jason Aaron fan for quite some time. I really liked that this was a more fun story after a very serious one.
Right.
So it really helps to change the tone, and he's very good at this. He's done this in Wolverine several times. He'll give you a dark story, and then you give you something a little different. He's willing to change the way he presents a character and his story throughout his runs. There's showing that there's no one direction you have to stick on. You don't have to keep it dark and dank all the time. I mean, you can go dark, you can go light. Hulk is a malleable character, and you can do interesting things with him, and I think some people forget about that. It's like, oh, we have to do dumb Hulk, and there's only so many stories we can do.
Well, the thing about the Hulk, though, is that he went from being a brute, a dumb brute, to having intelligence, then losing the intelligence, then getting back the intelligence, then getting rid of Banner, then killing Banner, and still having intelligence, but he didn't have Banner's scientific brain. He just had kind of your regular old everyday schmo Joe who mows the lawn kind of brain.
No, there was a few times where Banner was in charge in the Hulk body. During either Peter David's run or even a couple times before, actually, during the original Secret War.
Okay.
Banner was in charge as well, which was,
but
again, made
that
for an
had to do with
interesting
the
story.
Beyonder, though. That whole brain inside
No,
the
actually,
Hulk.
when he was, during that story, he's actually starting to recede back into Hulk personality.
Okay.
So
I'll have to go back and reread that then.
that's why I'm the encyclopedia.
That's right. In any case, art-wise, what did you feel?
Little different from what I'm used to seeing.
Right.
It had more of an indie book flair to it. I still think it was very good.
I thought it had pretty sharp lines.
Yeah, very sharp, tight,
there wasn't the
loose
softness to the texture of muscle that we're used to seeing.
Yeah,
especially compared to the cover.
The way that he drew it was kind of with these harder angles.
Yeah.
But he didn't use an over-intensity of lines to do his drawings. In a way, he actually reminds me a lot of what Brian Stelfreeze does in Hardcore, who likes to use hard lines and angles without over-cluttering the panels with a lot of cross-hatching and lines and things like that. It's pretty clean that way.
Very cool. Now, color-wise, I thought the colors were very one-dimensional.
They were kind of muted, weren't they?
Yeah, they were very muted.
Again,
it's not something I'm used to seeing.
Yeah,
right?
it was more of a
especially
throwback
in a lot of today's books.
Yeah,
where they're very day-glow and
considering the light tone of the story, I thought the color tone didn't really match the story tone.
No, I agree. I agree 100% on that. And that rounds out our top 3 for this week.
That is our top 3 for this week. Do we want to give them a sneak peek for next week?
Yeah, let's talk about what we got coming up next week. We have Astonishing X-Men number 50 coming out next week.
Big centennial number for one of the newer X-Men titles.
Right. We also are going to see a new number 1 from Dark Horse Comics, and this is a new entry into the Star Wars storyline.
Yeah, this is a Darth Vader story, too.
Yes, this is Darth Vader and the Ghost Prison, and if you haven't seen this, it'll be available in stores tomorrow. And it says, "Welcome to Coruscant, a good place to die." And from DC, we are still in the 52 range. We are going to have a look at the number 1 Batman Incorporated. And we'll have a look at those next week. And what's coming out on the shelf tomorrow other than those 3?
Well, I mean, Batman Incorporated is certainly easily the big pick for the week. This is actually one of the quieter weeks on the shelf. Not a lot from either publisher, and that has a lot to do with a 5-week shipping schedule, shipping schedule for both publishers. So things tend to get spread out. So not as many big releases this week, but we got Aquaman number 9 from DC. Jeff Loeb tearing it up on that book.
Cool.
Batman Incorporated Incorporated obviously being the big one from DC. A couple Captain America books from Marvel, Captain America number 12 and Captain America and Hawkeye 631. That one's an unusual book because the name keeps changing every time his co-star changes. So, next time I mention that book, it could be somebody else.
Welcome to DC.
Dark Horse Presents had their 12th issue out this week as well, with 2 covers, one by Dean Motter bringing back his Mr. X story within those pages, and there was also a Sam Keith cover with an Aliens story. So very cool to see Sam Keith doing that book again. If you remember your early Dark Horse days, he did do an Alien story with them. What else we got coming up? Deadpool 55, New Fables, Flash number 9, Green Lanterns and the New Guardians number 9, a new Guild one-shots. This one focused around Fox.
Oh, okay.
Hellraiser 14 from Boom Studios. I just
Nice.
gotta plug that because I'm a Hellraiser fan. Let's see what else we got. Just League Dark Eye Vampire, Magic the Gathering over from IDW, and if you're a Magic the Gathering fan, decent book. It also comes with a nice exclusive card you can bring into your game. And I've checked out some of these cards. They're intensely powerful if you're a Magic the Gathering player.
Very cool.
I am kind of retired, so don't
Well,
ask me.
I have some decks here that we should probably play pretty soon. But
Yeah, we could do that.
Um,
Let's see. Just to round this out, Secret Avengers, Soulfire, Stan Lee's Mighty 7 from Archie, number 2 is out this week.
Okay.
Teen Titans number 9, finishing off the Culling storyline.
Okay.
And New Transformers, More Than Meets the Eye, Ultimate X-Men number 12, Voodoo, and yeah, that's about it. There's a nice little OGN called Zombies Hate Stuff. It's a tiny little book, but
Interesting.
I like the title, so I'll give that one a plug too.
All right, so let me quickly ask you what's coming out for the younger readers next week.
Well, actually,
Or this week.
There was a Spider-Man book for a nice entry-level young readers Spider-Man book, kind of in their digest-size format.
Okay.
But it's definitely done in a storybook style. Oh, boy, I'm trying to remember now. You put me on the spot. That's
my job.
Yeah, thanks. There was actually 2 Spider-Man books. There was another with the collection of the younger reader Spider-Man stuff, as well as that young readers book, which is actually the first one of that series.
Okay.
Ultimate Spider-Man number 2, based on the TV show, was also out this week. And there's one I'm trying to find on my list that we did get as well that I'm just blanking on right now, that looked pretty cool, but even I don't know too much about it.
You'll get it.
Yeah.
It'll come to you.
Anyway, I'm looking, but I'm not seeing it.
So we've got one more segment of the Calgary Comic and Entertainment Expo still to come.
Okay, well, here's the other one. Sorry. This one was from Ape, I do believe. And it's called Scouts Drafted, and it looks pretty cool.
Okay.
So check that one out as well.
We've actually got an episode coming up in June or July that we are going to be talking about young reader books. And
boy, we have a lot of them to talk about.
Yes,
so
we do. So
people don't realize how much all ages and young readers material is actually out there. And a lot of shops have almost given up on it. And I want to tell you from firsthand, from my own shop's experience, don't give up. There is an audience out there. It's just managing to bring them in is a little tougher, but let people know you've got it. And let's get the kids reading again.
I agree.
Away
100%.
from their joysticks.
And Free Comic Book Day was a rousing success for everybody.
Yes.
Where can people find us, Naked Ape Productions, and Between the Pages? Well, you can find us on the internet at nakedapeprod.com/Between the Pages. That's where you can watch our reruns of the show or video on demand. We also post them on YouTube, so you can see them there as well. We are still working on getting our RSS feed done, so you can subscribe and know when the shows are out. We would prefer, of course, if you brought your friends and came and joined us live in the chat room, talk to us, ask us questions. The man, the encyclopedia, is always here to help us and answer the questions that I can't. Where else can you find us? Well, you can find us on Facebook at Naked Ape Productions. We have a Facebook page. Come join the Ape Nation.
That's right, and you can also find us on Twitter, also Naked Ape Productions.
While we're talking about Facebook, hang on.
All right. That's right. We have a contest to name the ape.
Name that
Our
guy.
ape has no name, and we need you in the Ape Nation to give him a name. And the one we like the best will receive a lovely little prize pack.
That's true. We have a couple of spawns to give away. Spawn 200, the return of Todd McFarlane to doing artwork.
Yeah, as well as a retail exclusive.
Yeah.
And there'll be a few other things in
Right.
there as well. Maybe some posters and a graphic novel or something.
You bet. And we've got another, as soon as the ape contest is over.
Yeah, well, we'll do a giveaway for all of our free comic book day stuff.
Right. We had a question actually about the ape, naming the ape. How many times can you enter? Well, you can enter as many times as you like. When does the contest close? The contest closes as soon as the ape picks his name.
That's right.
So just send us a Twitter, or actually join us on Facebook. Send us a Facebook message about what you think the name of the ape should be. And I also have to talk about Canis Racing. We're in negotiation now to bring Canis Racing to Naked Ape Productions. They're talking about doing a podcast about Canis Racing, and that's local racers and car enthusiasts. And so some different programming coming. Edmonton TV will be talking to us about bringing their programming to Naked Ape Productions as well. So another show I don't have to do. And Canis Racing apparently is all over Canada and the U.S., so it's open to anyone and everyone. That being said, what else we got coming up? You can find us on Twitter. I'm going to put up that Twitter lower third right now. So that's the Facebook one. Why is the Twitter one?
There we go. Naked Ape Prod.
Naked Ape Prod.
Space or underscore ape underscore prod.
So join us on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter. We'll follow you back.
Leave your comments.
Absolutely.
I know lots of people asking us about RRS and iTunes. It is something we are
diligently
working hard on, and will come in due course. We don't know when that's going to be, but
Right.
we're still working on it, and we're hearing you, and it will happen at some point.
And there's other projects in the works that we'll be bringing to your attention as time goes on. Now, that being said, let's get back to our coverage of the Calgary Comic and Entertainment Expo. This is going to take us right out into the credits. After the credits, we'll be back to do the post show.
See you guys in a few minutes.
We'll see you in a few minutes. Here we go.
You're watching Between the Pages.
So I'm here with Lance Henriksen of the Aliens franchise, and most notably for his voiceover for all of you that haven't seen it, Monster Brawl. How you doing today, Lance?
Monster Brawl. That was fun, man. That was really fun. They asked me out of the blue to do that.
They did.
Oh yeah, and then the characters that are in it, one is more insane and absurd than the last. So
I couldn't agree more with that.
I couldn't say no. I couldn't say no. It's good.
Now, what people may not know about you, you do a lot of voiceover work.
Yeah, Mass Effect. I'm doing Tron. I'm doing Korra, Legend of Korra. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. I mean,
And you recently were a character on The Avengers.
Yes, I was. And I did Lockdown, and just a lot of them, you know.
Awesome. How is it going from screen to behind the mic and doing voiceover work for you?
You could stand there in your short pants and do it, you know. You don't have to shave, and you know what I mean.
I know what you're talking about, yeah?
Yeah, just go in and have the fun, you know, have fun.
Now, you have a new book out. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's a biography, a no BS biography I did. I had to write it. It just happens. One day you'll do the same thing. I think everybody should write a biography, even if you don't publish it.
I don't think anybody wants to read about me.
How do you know? Until you write it.
I'm just an old fat guy.
No, not for long. Not with a business like this. You got to, hey.
Lance, I want to thank you very much for your time today, and I'm very interested in reading your book and doing a review on it for our show.
You do it. Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love it.
Hey guys, I'm here today with
Raven or Black Cat.
We'll go with Black Cat for today. So can you tell us a bit about your costume and how long it took you to put it together?
It took me about 2 months from start to end to put it together. It's the Black Cat from Spider-Man, so kind of sort of like Catwoman, but not quite. Costume was bought, but everything else was added. All the fur was added on, and I bought the gloves and added that on, and kind of customized it a bit to work and painted on the makeup and did
Fantastic. Is this your first time at an expo?
Not my first time at an expo, it's my first time cosplaying at an expo.
And how are you liking it?
I'm loving it. It's kind of hard to get from A to B because you get stopped 100 times in between, but it's pretty fun.
So I'm here with lead singer Vanessa from Hero Incredible, is that correct?
That is correct.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about what Hero Incredible is and what kind of sound that you have?
Well, we're an original rock band based in Calgary, and we, as the singer, female vocals, obviously, very melodic, and we have a lot of fun with it. But we also love to pull out our geeky and cult classic kind of covers and bring them out and do them at events like these. That's a lot of fun for us.
So how's the con been for you so far this weekend?
Fantastic, completely action-packed, and just running off my feet. I'm exhausted, but I'm having a great time.
Excellent. Now, where can people find your music?
You can go to www.heroincredible.com, or you can go to www.vanessacarduy.ca. That's Vanessa Carduy, C-A-R-D-U-I, as in when you get in your C-A-R, make sure you don't get a D-U-I.ca.
Excellent. Now, we're looking forward to playing some of your tracks on an upcoming show. How would that be with you?
I'd love that.
Excellent. So look forward to hearing more from Hero Incredible on Between the Pages. So costumes aplenty here at the Calgary Comic and Entertainment Expo, and this time is no different. Well, it's not plentiful, but it's a very nice costume. I am here with
Alicia.
And you are dressed today as?
I'm Emma Frost, the White Queen from the latest X-Men movie, First Class.
Very cool. And how long did it take you to put together a costume?
This one, it took a few months. I'd say the longest part was getting these crystals that are heat set crystals and just putting them on.
So you had to put each one on individually?
By hand, yeah. I went through Game of Thrones twice.
Well, at least you had a good movie to watch,
oh, yeah.
or a good series. Now, being Emma Frost here at the con, how has that been well received for you?
It's been great, especially with the Avengers coming out soon. There's a lot of X-Men and Marvel and Avengers characters. And when I bump into them, it's impromptu photo op time. Everyone brings their cameras out.
So you've had a lot of photos taken?
I have. Probably the most I've ever had at a Comic-Con.
So is it fair to say that you're this year's Comic-Con pinup girl?
I could be. I did win the Miss Comic-Con contest once in Winnipeg. Calgary should have one.
We should. We should. Although I'm from Winnipeg, so I know what that's like. Although I've never won that award.
No, you should enter.
No, I'm just a 40-plus-year-old fat guy with a gorgeous young lady at the Calgary Expo. Boy, does that seem creepy?
You wouldn't believe what I've heard today.
Now, I got a couple more questions for you. Here at the Calgary Expo, you're a veteran of the Expo.
Of this one, this is my third time coming.
Now, what advice do you have for new people coming to the Expo?
Be prepared to wait in line if you want to do the photo op stuff. I don't do that because I find it more interesting to talk with all the artists and buy their work and see what they are doing and get, contact with them because these people honestly need it way more.
So I'm here with Beth Wagner, the artist of Isaac and Lee.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm pretty good,
How's the con been treating you?
Actually, really well. People have been really nice, people have been really friendly, and yeah, it's just been really great. I always love coming here.
So tell us a little bit about Isaac and Lee and some of the offerings that you have here in your booth today.
Sure. Well, mostly right now I have some prints, and I have my Isaac and Lee. That's my longest running book. It's basically a slice of life book involving two friends and their wacky adventures.
Excellent. And where can people find your books?
You can find them online through my website, or you can find them at Kablam through Indie Planet.
Excellent. And your website is?
Yes, it's bethwagner.wordpress.com.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to seeing more of your stuff between the pages. Well, I am here with one of the Transformers, better known as
Thundercracker.
Now, how did you come up with this costume?
I roleplay Thundercracker online.
Oh, so you're an online player. Now, you don't wear this when you're playing online.
When I was making it, I wore the wings.
Oh, very cool. Now, how long did it take you to make this costume, and what's it made out of?
It's made out of foam board and hot glue gun and paint. And it took me on and off 4 months.
Wow, and this is not your first con?
No, this is about the third one I've worn this one too.
Wow. Now, if you had any advice for newbies coming to the con, what would you say?
Bring a hot glue gun and make sure you can go through doors and go to the washroom.
All right, there you have it. So when you're coming to the con, bring a hot glue gun and be sure that you can get through doors and make it easy for yourself to go to the washroom. So I'm here with Ray Friesen. And Ray, can you tell us what brought you to the Calgary Comic Entertainment Expo this year?
Well, actually, I was invited up by the show. I'm friends with Andy Rutten, who draws Owly, and they asked him last year, what kid-friendly creators do you recommend we have at your show? And he said me and a couple other people. And so they wrote me and said, would you like to come to Calgary? And I said, heck yes, I'd like to come to Calgary.
Now, tell us a little bit about the books that you brought with you today.
I write and draw all ages, humor, and adventure. Most of my books involve penguins. We're actually sold out of most of my books, but my main characters are Pirate Penguin versus Ninja Chicken. So it's a whole bunch of silly adventure. I'd say it's sort of Monty Python meets Disney for kids.
Monty Python meets Disney. So silly walks and funny voices.
Oh, for sure. You have to provide the silly voices yourself when you read the book out loud.
All right. Thank you very much. Where can people find your stuff online?
They can visit www.don'teatanybugs.com.
There you have it. Don'teatanybugs.com. Always sound advice, but check out Mr. Friesen's fine work. And there he is, eating the word.